Welcome back to In Case You Missed It. Today we're going to be covering a lot from the detention of a little kid and his father to the death of Alex Pretty to everything that is going on with immigration enforcement, but specifically the human cost that it has on kids and our families and what is happening here in Arizona right in our backyard in terms of immigration at the state legislature. But before we get into it, I really wanted to share what keeps me going during these heavy moments that everything seems so full of despair and like a big dark cloud that is above of us. I was actually talking to Priscilla, who's behind the scenes, and we both agree that what keeps us going is our family, all the sacrifices that they have made, everything that they have endured. And if they were able to endure all of that for the love to us, their children, we have the opportunity to keep going. So now let's get into it. Speaking about the human cost of immigration and about our families, let's talk about a bill here in the state of Arizona that can impact thousands of Arizonans. So let's get into it. There is this bill called SB 1051 that is being sponsored by Senator Wendy Rogers. And the bill, people who support the bill, they're claiming that this is an accountability and reporting measure. But let me break it down for you and tell you what exactly is. This will require our hospitals to be taking account about the immigration status of their patients. The reality is that this can put thousands of Arizonans at danger when the majority of undocumented people, the only time that they really go to the hospital is when they are in life or death situations. Because a big myth that we have seen in the state of Arizona and across our nation is that undocumented people are ripping away these public benefits. But let me tell you that in the state of Arizona, for many years, it is not allowed for undocumented people to have access to health care or any type of public benefits, including medical insurance. So the majority of times that undocumented people are actually attending our hospitals is when they're in severe need of care. It is incomprehensible to think about that our nurses, our doctors, our ER practitioners should be asking about immigration status before looking out for the care of their patients. This is not what many Arizonans who are in the healthcare profession sign up for. They sign up to care for patients, to love them, to get them healthier, not to become ICE officers in their hospitals. So definitely let's make sure that we don't let despair be the winner of this. We have an opportunity to make our voices heard through the request to speak method. If you don't know what that is and you want to find that out, make sure you go to alientoac.org/RTS, and we got you covered and we got your back to ensure that your voice is heard on this process. We know that this bill has been making its round through the Senate. In order for this to become a law, it has to pass both chambers, the Senate and the House, and be signed by the governor. So making sure that if you don't want this to become law, you don't want our nurses to become ICE agents, make sure to go through the RTS system, and we got your back and we got you covered. I think it's really important to mention that there's 330 people who have already opposed, and that includes a lot of organizations and institutions, including the Arizona Public Health Association, the Arizona Hospital and Healthcare Association, the Health System Alliance of Arizona, even the Arizona Chamber of Commerce, Vitalist Health Foundation, and of course, us at Aliento, because we want to make sure that our kids and our families are safe and are willing to go and ask for the care that they need. This is, in contrast, only 33 people who are in favor. So make sure that if you are in Arizona, let your voice be heard, and let's make sure that we don't let despair be the winner, but this is a moment for us to act and raise our voices. The whole nation has been watching Minnesota. We have eyes on them from the tragic death and killing of Alex Pretty at the hands of CBP enforcement to the gut-wrenching images of little Liam being detained in his bunny ears with his Spider-Man backpack. We have been seeing the atrocities and the human rights violations that we have been seeing coming out of Minneapolis, regardless of what political spectrum you land on. This, as a nation, we cannot stay silent, and we cannot cover our eyes to not believe what we're seeing with our own eyes. However, despite of all this human tragedy that we have seen, it's been beautiful to witness how the whole Minnesota community and the whole nation have been taking action. From making calls to ensuring and putting pressure to our senators to not pass the DHS budget without any accountability measures, to ensuring that everybody knew about the story of our 5-year-old Liam. I have a little bit of glimpse of hope in the midst of so much pain, and that is that Liam and his dad are finally free. And that came because of the pressure, because of the calls, because of you sharing the post, and for you taking action. He was released under a judge order. However, the fight continues. We are hearing that that judge order was appealed by the opposition. So I think it's really critical that we don't take out the foot out of the gas pedal. I know that it is heartbreaking to continue to see these violations, but we must stay united, whether it's sharing a post on social media, making that call to your elected officials, to being able to talk to your neighbors, to your family, to your friends about what is going on and how that is impacting our lives, or showing up to protest, making sure that we continue to speak out about these injustices to ensure that no little kids are longer in detention. Speaking of children, there are about 7 million immigrant children and U.S. citizen children of immigrant parents. This is very worrisome for school leaders across the nation, but specifically in a place like Minnesota, where many school districts have opted out for a short-term solution on providing virtual learning for their students. This comes after seeing those horrible images of little Liam going to school, from school to home or from home to school, where we see that kids are not being safe and they're being detained and arrested. So that's why schools have taken action. We know that this is only a short-term solution that has come to a response of the DHS memo taking away that protection from schools and being deemed as sensitive locations, when now it's a free for all as agents to be outside of the schools, making sure that our kids are not safe and they're not learning. We know that virtual learning comes with its pros and cons, so it is really critical for education leaders across the nation to continue to put the pressure to ensure that schools become a safe haven for our little kids who are ready to learn, who are ready to become our next leaders of the United States of America. It's really important that we're protecting their innocence, that we're protecting their academic learning, and we need to ensure that we keep up the pressure to reclaim schools as a safe haven for our kids, regardless of they were born. I know everything that is happening here in our state and in our nation can feel overwhelming. Just remember, you're not alone. There are so many good people that care and they're raising up their voices. So here, I want to leave you with 3 things that you can do. 1, if you have questions or want any guidance, make sure you drop your comments. And you make sure you drop any questions or comments in the comment section. But remember, if it is private information, make sure that you do a direct message. 2, you can go to our website, alientoac.org/resources, to have a holistic component from knowing your rights, especially as you're thinking potentially showing up physically through peaceful rallies. Make sure that you understand what are your constitutional rights, and also connect immigrant communities to holistic resources that are so important during this moment. And 3rd, I already said it, but it's never too late to remind you that if you are in Arizona, we need you to raise your voice through the Request to Speak system. So you can visit us so we can support you at alientoac.org/RTS. Thank you so much, and we'll see you until next time.